So welcome everyone to our webinar about discovering the power of Canvas and Formative. And as I've mentioned, it's going to be really helpful for you if you would like to actually follow along in the steps that we go over. Please make sure you're logged into your Canvas account if you have one, and your Formative account. It's going to be helpful to have both. Okay. And while you're doing that, I'll introduce myself. My name is Katie Rush, and I am a Client Success Manager at Formative. I am a former teacher. I taught 5th grade for about 7 years in a general education setting, but I also have a special education background as well. And in my free time, I like to cook, crochet, and I play on a softball team. Just a few things. I know we mentioned a couple of them already. We are recording this session, so it will be posted on our training center later this month. We are scheduled to go for about 30 minutes. We will definitely have time at the end for questions. So please feel free to put them in the chat. And if I don't get to them right away, I'll make sure we circle back to them before we end our session today. All right, so by the end of today, we have 3 big goals. You're going to understand how to create a formative in Canvas. You're going to understand how to assign that formative in Canvas, and then also get those grades to pass back to Canvas. Now, I do want to preface this by saying that working with Canvas in this way is part of our school and district partnerships. So if this is something you're interested in, you do not have that right now with Formative, I encourage you to reach out to your administration within your school or district to get in contact with us to find out how we can allow this feature or get this feature in your hands quickly, all right? But let's go ahead and dive in. So I'm going to switch gears here and head over to my Canvas account. And I do want to let you know that this Canvas account is just one of the free Canvas accounts that I've created and we've been working with. So I'm going to come into my course, and I'm sure you have multiple courses here. This is my one test course. Whenever you're working in Canvas with Formative, you're going to be spending most of your time here in this Assignments tab. This Assignments tab, I know is something that you all use on a regular basis, so I'm not going to go over too much of this, but we're going to start by creating a new assignment. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and title this with Canvas webinar. Now, you obviously know that you can put in as much information here as you'd like. I'm going to skip this for now and come down to the points section. You always want to make sure that you're including a point value when you are creating a formative in Canvas, right? So you can make it whatever you would expect the assignment to be worth, or you can come back and edit it later. But you're going to want to make sure that there is always a point value in this space, right? And the only other thing I'm going to do right now is take care of this submission type. You'll see it's already toggled to an external tool. And I'm going to click on Find. If Formative is connected for you as an app in Canvas, it will pop up here an external tool. I'm going to select the external tool, and this is where the choices start to happen for you. This is where you actually get to start making some of those instructional decisions. You can, if you already have formatives created in your account, you can scroll through here and add any one of these formatives in your account to the assignment in Canvas, right? So I'm going to go through that process first. So we're going to go through and create this, or take this formative and add it to my Canvas account or to my Canvas assignment. You're going to say, but Katie, nothing happened. You clicked it and it went back to this model. Like, yep, that's exactly what it's supposed to do. You're going to click this select button. And now this link here is all ready to launch through Canvas. I'm going to suggest that this piece is totally up to you. I like to uncheck it because it keeps me all in Canvas, even as I'm editing the formative. All right. And I'm going to touch nothing else. All I'm going to do is click Save. And what you'll see is now the formative populates within Canvas. So I haven't left Canvas, and here's my formative. And you'll notice that I can scroll through here and see the formative as I would on the formative website. And I can interact with the formative in the same ways. Okay. The assigning process is going to be the same for both ways to access a formative. So we're going to look at this really quickly. Once I've picked the formative that I want to assign to my students, I'm going to hit Assign, select my class, and it's very important that the class you select in formative is the same class that you have in Canvas. So one of the big setup pieces that you're going to want to do before you even get here is to make sure you have classes in formative and classes in Canvas that are exactly the same number of students and exactly the same email addresses associated with both places. Okay. Once you select your class, you're going to come down here to optional settings. Now, if you have never seen this setting before, it's because you've never opened up the Assign tab in Canvas. This piece right here, requiring Canvas launch, is so very important. When you toggle this on, what it does is it forces students to have to access the formative through Canvas. If they try to go through the formative website, it will tell them, it will prompt them, you need to access through Canvas. This is a really important piece that we're going to talk about how this sets you up for success later. But this is a setting that is absolutely vital and so important as you're assigning formatives through Canvas. Okay. And this setting will only appear if you are working on formative within the Canvas platform. All right. So very important that you are working through this assigning piece within Canvas. Once I've selected all my settings, I'm going to go ahead and click Assign. And now this formative is assigned to my students. Once I've done this piece, I still haven't published it within the Canvas platform yet. So I'm going to come back to Assign settings, adjust any other pieces on this page that I need to. And once I'm happy with everything here, then I save and publish. And now this formative is available to my students through Canvas. All right, so there's a bit of a two-step process. Now, the good news is we're going to go over this again a second time through a different method. Okay, so what we just talked about was how to take formatives you already had in your formative account and assign them through Canvas. This time, what we're going to show is how to actually build a formative within the Canvas platform. So I'm going to start it in almost the exact same way. I'm going to go to assess or assignment up here. I'm going to title it. Make sure I have my points. I'm going to come into External Tool, click Find, click Formative. And this time, I'm going to use this new Formative button up here. I'm going to click Select, uncheck Load in a new tool, again, keeping it all within that Canvas platform for myself. And then I'm going to hit Save. And now what's loading for me is a purely blank formative that I can build from scratch within the Canvas platform. So now I have the capacity to use the entire formative program and platform within Canvas. So I can come in here, I can add my questions, build my answer keys, I can tag standards, all in one space. And yes, I'm going very simple with the question types, but I just want to show you kind of that whole process. So I've gone through, I've added my questions, I've built this out to the way I want it to be. And now I'm going to come back to this Assign tab because it's ready to go to my students. And go to Assign. Again, select the right class, the one that matches what's in Canvas. Click Assign. Oh, can anybody tell me what I forgot a step, didn't I? Once I clicked my class, I forgot to require this Canvas launch. It's very easy to do if you don't make it part of your habit. So I just came back into my Assign settings, selected the class that I was working on, and came back to get my Canvas launch and toggled it on. You'll see now I have the option to update only. So I'm going to update it. And now I'm ready. I've assigned it in formative, and now it's ready to be assigned in Canvas. Okay, I'm going to come back to the edit assign settings, make sure everything is exactly as I want it to be, that it's assigned to the right class, my due dates and everything. And then I'm going to hit save and publish. Right. Okay. I don't see anything popping up in the chat, so I'm going to keep moving to the next piece. And once your students take the formative within Canvas, the next step is going to be to look at those responses and to pass back those grades. So you'll notice that as I'm in this formative, I can see my view responses tab here too. And so when I go back here into my view responses tab within the formative, I can see how my students did on these two questions right from this page. Yep, I'll do the student view in just a second. I'm gonna have to sign in and out. So let me finish up with this and then I will definitely show you the student view, 100%. So you have all the view responses capabilities that you would normally have in formative within Canvas. So again, keeping it all in that one space for you so that you don't have to go to two different platforms in order to make the most of or make the best use of your formative account. Okay. So I'm going to come back to the assignment tab and I'm going to show you one that's done. It has student responses here. And this one loads in a new window, so it just gives you a feel for what this looks like. So I'm going to come to my view responses tab, come over here, and you can see which of my students took the formative here. I have my color coding ready to go. And so I can dive in and look at each of one of these responses for my students, whatever works, whatever I need to do as a teacher to assess these responses. Once I'm done and ready to go, once I've looked at all these responses, I'm ready to pass the grades back to my gradebook. I'm going to come up here to the triple dot menu in the upper right-hand corner. When I click on this, I'm going to look for grade passback. When I click on grade passback, you'll see it says right at the bottom here, Canvas grade passback. If you don't see this Canvas grade passback on your options, it's typically one of two reasons. Either you're not in the Canvas platform and using the formative options here, or your Canvas account has not been connected to your formative account as a school. So we see this this question come up if your school has not purchased a district-wide or school-wide partnership. it's not going to have access to the Canvas piece. So if you're not seeing this option, just make sure you're double checking on those two pieces. Once I click pass back grades to Canvas, I'll select the class that this is going to go back to. You'll see at the top here, I have an option to switch to complete versus incomplete grading. So if I'm only looking for a completion grade here, I do have that option. You'll notice in bright red lettering here, formative tells me that the student did not use Canvas to submit the assignment. This, if you see this under any student's name, you will not be able to pass back grades for that student. This is why it's so important to make sure that you are toggling on that require Canvas launch, because if you don't toggle it on, students can access through the formative website, and then you will not be able to pass those grades back to the Canvas gradebook. So making sure that you are toggling on that require Canvas launch is going to be super important. All right. You'll see the students who did complete the formative in Canvas are already checked for me, and their scores are here. I can adjust if I need to on either end of these grades. And you'll notice the percentage adjusted as I changed these options or these numbers. Okay. Once it's all where I want it to be grade-wise, I hit send. And then formative lets me know with nice green lettering that this was sent back to the Canvas gradebook. Okay, so I'm going to close this. I'm going to close my formative piece here. And then if I come back to grades, see if it'll load here. It may not because I'm in incognito mode, so it may not come up all the way. Oh, there it goes. Let me come over here to these very last ones that I just did. And here are the scores for the students that I just passed back. Here's my formative and my scores here. All right. So just like that, we've taken the grades from the students that they had in formative, passed them back to Canvas gradebook, and they are all set to go here. Okay. So here's the Canvas accounts, the test Canvas accounts that we were working on, the test course here. And you'll see in assignments, scroll down to the bottom. Here's the one that we just worked on with the questions in it. And as a student, this is how it looks to your students when they are working on the formative. So as long as you say that it doesn't load in an external window, for the students, it will load right within Canvas for them. They'll see the very similar platform view that they would see if they were looking at it from a website picture. And they can ask and answer, or they can answer within formative here as they normally would. Their submission process is exactly the same. They hit submit, and then they can exit their assignment. So very simple process for them. Their grades will show in the same way that they normally would. So here's the one that we did the grade pass back for. They can come back into this and see their formative here. Does that answer your question about the student view? Okay, awesome. Yeah, absolutely. I know sometimes it's tough because you don't get the student view in the way you normally would with Canvas because you don't have a student account, so you end up getting an error sometimes. And so it's super helpful to be able to see what the actual student view looks like. Absolutely. We could do it because we're admin on our formative accounts on the formative organizations. That's the only way we could do it on our free Canvas accounts for demo purposes. All right, that is the end of the content piece that I wanted to share with you all. What I am going to do is I am going to open up our slideshow again because that got closed. But we're going to open this back up and wrap up here with just a couple of points. So I'm going to switch over here to this screen. As you're moving through and working with Formative, we have a ton of great resources on how to go through all these steps with Canvas in case you missed a portion today or you want to go back and actually read the steps. You're going to find that in our Help Center. And all you have to do with our Help Center is type in Canvas. And you'll see a grade passback article here. You'll see how to assign a formative through Canvas. And if you are at a partner school or district and you have not had the ability yet to integrate with Canvas, definitely have your admin get in touch with your success manager. We're going to be able to walk you through those steps on how to get Canvas working for your school. Okay. The other really powerful learning space for you is going to be the Training Center. All of our recorded webinars are posted down here at the bottom of the homepage of our Training Center. So definitely check out a few of those. There's some great 30-minute webinars here for you that are short and sweet, just like this one is going to be. So a great place to take a look at what's coming up next. Our January ones should be posted shortly. So we have some great opportunities there coming up in January. And then the very last piece, if you would like a certificate of attendance for your participation today and your attendance today, I ask that you please fill out the Google form that I just put in the chat. You'll also get this email to you tomorrow. So if you fill it out today, go ahead and just ignore the email tomorrow. But if you don't have a chance to fill it out today, I'd really appreciate it if you took some time to fill it out. It's very short and sweet. And we will email you a certificate of attendance for your records for PD at the end of the month.